This should have been a stonkingly good scooter. At 175cc, this is the largest of the larger, reasonably priced ICE scooters on the market today. And that part of it actually really works. This is smooth, it is fast, and it's a lot of fun. However, there's more here that breaks the Aprilia SR 175 deal than makes it. The Aprilia SR 175 is based on the SR 160, but now with a new, larger engine that is extremely impressive. Like before, it still has 14-inch wheels and grippy tires, and you can immediately sense the stability and cornering the SR 175. It's a distinct pleasure and a highlight of the scooter. But by today's scooter standards, I can't call this a good product. This is one of the least comfortable machines you can buy right now. It's not very spacious either, and okay, that's fine, it's a sporty scooter. The TFT experience, it's fine, not great, but when you start to operate the TFT screen, the whole thing feels more retrofitted than all new. And on top of that, Aprilia currently does not have a great reputation for customer service either. The short version is that the Aprilia SR 175 is extremely difficult to recommend. If you're still interested, the longer version of this story, it begins here. But before that, I'd like to take a moment to invite you to check out MotorInc Circles, a small part of the app that feels like the best of a forum and a social media network. I'd like you to check it out because you've got MotorInc fam there who are unfailingly supportive and knowledgeable, and they can help you research your next vehicle. For example, if you'd like to know what living with an Aprilia, because you're thinking SR 175 might be like, you will find Aprilia owners on Circles who will be able to help you get an accurate picture going. Circles is free to use, the MotorInc app is free to download, and you can get the app right now from the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. And now, it's back to the Aprilia scooter. In all honesty, working out what all exactly is new on the SR 175 is more challenging than it needs to be. For example, John Ibrahim is everywhere on Aprilia India's website, but the curve weight of the scooter, it's not. The SR 160 still does appear on Aprilia India's website, but on the SR series scooter brochure, it's not there. And the user manual for this machine, it's just not available. The point is, there's a lot of missing information about this scooter. But from what I can tell, this scooter has a new engine. This is a square engine, which means bore and stroke are exactly the same. There is a new TFT unit, which is inspired by the 457s, but the graphics do look quite a bit more cluttered. And while the hardware for the design hasn't changed, it comes in these new color schemes that look really good in a very typically Aprilia way. To me, this is a city scooter. I can imagine the Yamaha Aerox or the Hero Zoom 160 as more highway ready, but this scooter comes closest to being in its element only in the city. And what you will notice immediately is the performance. This scooter is smooth, it is quick, and it is fast. In light traffic, before I understood what it's up to, I constantly found myself above 75 kilometers per hour. It's sweet and a bit nuts. The top speed is 97 kilometers per hour, and on the speedo you will see 108. And remember, all speedometers overread the actual speed. It's a legal requirement. The other thing you should remember is Aprilia is using a 175cc engine to roughly create the same output as, for example, the TVS NTORQ 150. 13-inch PS and 14-inch Newton meters of torque. And that is why the performance feels unstrained. This also creates decent economy. Ride hard, you'll see 34, 35 kilometers per liter, but back off, that will jump to 38, 39, and if you're light, maybe even 40 kilometers per liter. That's really good once you think that the fuel tank is also 7 liters. Except that I'm assuming it's 7 liters because the SR 160 had a 7-liter fuel tank. The official fuel tank capacity of the SR 175, it's not public yet. The other shining highlight for the SR 175 would be the corners. I've said for family scooters that they just need to give you confidence and done, but a sporty scooter, this needs to do more, and the SR 175 really delivers. The 14-inch wheels are a source of huge stability, and they have grippy tires on them, and together the combination is superb. If you do enjoy cornering scooters, and I really do, I think you'll find that the SR 175, it's sharp, it's accurate, it's confident, and it's just so happy in the bends. And from here, unfortunately, the Aprilia SR 175 story unravels. The biggest deal breaker by far is comfort. It's the primary reason why recommending that you buy one is not possible for us. If you do intend to get one, do get a test ride and pay attention above all else to this one aspect of the SR 175. The seating position will feel familiar, although Aprilia does say this is a brand new handlebar. But the real trouble is the seat, which happens to be just terrible. I have not been able to find a single place on the seat that worked for me. Going all the way to the back against the seat step or going all the way to the front of the seat, neither of them produce a result. The seat just feels shapeless and soft, and it's just flat out uncomfortable. On every single ride, within 5 minutes of starting to ride, I started to squirm, looking for a better way to sit. And my conclusion is, all the chairs at the MotorInc office and all the chairs in my house are easily better than this scooter. Now, seats are easy to fix and they're not expensive to fix, so okay, you can overlook that. Now, 2025, Aprilia did have a chance to reevaluate their suspension settings, and they don't seem to have done anything. This is a sporty scooter which will feel excellent on great roads and in the corners, but as soon as the roads start to deteriorate, bye-bye comfort. This feels bouncy, it feels stiff, and most of the time the scooter basically lets you absorb the bumps. That combined with this seat, it's just not good enough. Moving on, the 2025 model now has the TFT, and with that comes Bluetooth and connectivity and all of those things. But outside of that, Aprilia doesn't seem to have done anything else. And that means the underseat storage, it's a little bit small. The ignition key, it needs to go to 2 places to operate the scooter fully. The fuel filler cap, it remains under the seat. Convenience, it's in the same place as it was in, let's say, 2016 when the SR160 first came out. Now, the TFT screen is new, but it's not like that's a great experience. The screen is so cluttered that I took to favoring the fake analog display rather than the cluttered digital one. It's not a touchscreen, so Aprilia did have to add an indicator-style switch to the right switch cluster, which you use to operate the menus. But the menus move vertically, the switch moves horizontally, and my hand-eye coordination simply isn't good enough. In sum, you gain no convenience, the feature set moves one step forward, but it seems like it was all done without attention to detail. And you know why that is really hard to swallow? In hardware terms, this scooter is full of great attention to detail. Just to take 2 examples. This scooter design is an old scooter design that even today looks fresher than most scooters out there. All Aprilia did was update these graphic packages and they look good. More importantly, the pillion foot pegs on the SR are better integrated than any other pillion foot peg I can think of today in terms of design, especially for solo riders. Now, I think it's time to skip ahead to the conclusion. If you'd like to have more details of this scooter, it'll be in the notes section. It's at the end of this video if you're watching on the MotorInc app. We also have a set of, I'm going to say 13 FAQs, which include service, reliability, and everything. And the easiest place to find all of them and watch them as a set, that would also be the MotorInc app. In sum, this is the largest scooter engine in this class today, and the bike is fun to ride, it's smooth, it's fast, and the price, it's a very decent price. But you ride the scooter and you have second thoughts. For a little bit less, the TVS NTORQ 150 offers roughly this amount of performance. And for a little bit more money, the Yamaha Arox 155 and the Hero Zoom 160 both offer more features, more comfort, and more capability. This is a story of could, would, and should. Aprilia could have comprehensively updated this scooter, incorporating feedback that has chased the SR160 around since it came out, 9 years ago. But for some reason, they didn't. And had they, this would have been a compelling purchase proposition. And to you, it means you should buy the Aprilia SR175, but only after you get a proper test ride. That's a longish distance and without somebody from the showroom sitting behind you the entire time. And you're going to use that to figure out if the comfort level on this scooter is good enough to match your standard.